It's 2025, so is Uber and Lyft still worth it to drive? Let's talk about that now. Hey everyone, my name is Chris and welcome to the RideShare Guy. And that's right, we're going to be answering the question, is it still worth it to drive Uber or Lyft in 2025? And before we even get started into my thoughts, I'm going to answer all the comments that say no, it's not worth it, don't do it, don't sign up, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to completely disagree with you and say, yes, it is still worth it to drive Uber and Lyft in 2025. Now, the naysayers out there, they're thinking of the scarcity mentality, which means that if there's more drivers on the road, it's going to take from their pockets. Well, technically, that could be potentially true because there are more drivers today than there ever has been before. Just a couple of years ago, there were only 2 million drivers worldwide at Uber. Now there's 7 million drivers. So there's a lot more people. It's 250% increase. So there's a lot more slices of pie when it comes to how many drivers are out there. So your slice of pie is going to be smaller, yes, but there's a lot more demand for rides and there's a lot more rides coming in. In fact, Uber just celebrated their 1 million concurrent rides, which means if you paused at the second, there was 1 million rides going on worldwide for 7 million drivers. So that's not too bad because all 7 million aren't on driving at the same time. So even though the slices may have gotten smaller because there's 7 million drivers, at least on Uber, not counting Lyft, there's still more people who are using the platforms out on the road today. So that means even though demand has gone up, supply has as well. And so there's definitely some tricks and traits and things that you need to do in order to make Uber and Lyft still worth it for you in 2025. Yes, like I said, you can absolutely make money, but it depends on where you are. So if you're driving out in the middle of nowhere, if you're in a rural area or a small city or something like that, well, you're probably not going to have the same as if you were in a larger city. So something like New York, LA, Boston, some of these big cities, they're going to have a lot more people because there's a lot more population there. But if you're in a small area, small township or anything like that, you might not see any rides, if at all. And if you do, it's going to be long pickups. The rides may not be the best. And it's just not going to be a very profitable time for you. But with that being said, if you are looking at doing something like Uber and Lyft and you live in a small area, cities aren't that far away. And yes, you could potentially make some pretty decent money doing it. But if you are in a city or you're looking to travel within a city where it's going to be a lot busier, you need to know that area. You need to know the market. You need to know the trends of when it's going to be busy, when it's going to be quiet. You need to know seasonality if you're going to be doing this over a longer term. There's a lot of things that you need to know to make sure that you're going to position yourself to make money versus lose money. Because especially if you're driving from a small area into a larger city, you got to take all that gas, all that mileage, all that cost that's going to be associated with driving to and from. You might be deadheading it. You might not be having any passengers in the car and you're not getting paid during that time. So those are a few things that you need to know. There's a lot of apps out there that you can look at when it comes to information and gathering information. First of all, events that are going on in the city, make sure you look at those. If you look at the Uber and Lyft app, they actually have information within it on the city that you're going to be traveling, so you know exactly when it's going to be busy, where it's going to be busy, and that can help you. But if you want more information, you can download the Solo app and see where it's going to be busy, the times it's going to be busiest, and then you can position and plan yourself going to be much better versus not doing that and hoping to make some money when in fact you'll have some backed up information, historical information that is going to give you the best chance to make money. Also, you need to make sure that when there's drivers out on the road, you know where they are, and you kind of do a zig versus a zag. So if they're zigging, you're zagging. If they're zagging, you're zigging. You got to make sure you pay attention to that. And always take a look at the maps and see where it's going to be busy, where it's not. Take note of that, because if you're just starting out, and I'm sure you're probably starting out watching this video, then that means you want to gather as much information as you can. So always check the apps. Even if you're not planning on going out, just open up the app, see where it's busy. It's going to show the busy points. It's going to show where people are picking up for rides, where rides are coming in, how busy it is. And then that way you can plan and strategize a lot better. Unfortunately, it's not like a few years ago where you could just potentially open up the app, turn it on, and get some rides and go. You have to have a little bit of strategy when it comes to this now, because like I said, there are 7 million drivers out on the road worldwide just on Uber alone. That's not including Lyft. Now, the other side is, I have titled this as, is it worth it to drive Uber and Lyft in 2025? Now, first off, if you're not driving both Uber and Lyft, you're at a disadvantage because you are able to take on both, and you could potentially get more rides on one platform than the other, usually Uber. Sometimes Lyft is busier. So make sure you're on both apps. There's no loyalty when it comes to these gig apps. So make sure your loyalty lies whoever's paying you, whoever's giving you the job, and whoever's making you more money. Now, here at the RideShare Guy, we have a lot of videos that are going to explain how you could make more money. Make sure you check out those videos. We're going to have more as well coming because, as always, 2025 is not 2022. It's not 2019. So there's a lot of different strategies that are going to be happening when it comes to making sure you're still able to get out there and make some money. Make sure you join us. Show Me the Money Club live Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, and you'll be able to see all the up-to-date information. And also, if you're really interested in checking out more information, we do have the course at the RideShare Guy, which is going to give you a much better hands-on knowledge on driving. So if you want to check that out, link's going to be in the description, as well as if you want to check out the Solo app, which is going to give you a lot more information. Now, with that being said, I'm going to come around with the Uber and Lyft specific videos on if it's worth it and some of the caveats that are within the app. So make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss that video. All right, everybody, drive safe. We'll see you next time.